All right, y'all. What's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another one, y'all. All right, y'all. Y'all knew I was going to do a video for this one. If y'all missed LFA 217, y'all better check it out and keep an eye out for Mackenzie Stiller, aka Mack Judo. Once again, Mackenzie Stiller, she came in there and made a huge statement with a first round brutal bulldog choke on Cristina Brador. I'm talking brutal, man. She was about to twist this girl's head off. It was reminiscent of the one last year with Shannon Clark when she got that girl in the bulldog choke and she just kept cranking and cranking. Luckily, the referee, he jumped in and stopped it whenever this girl tapped, but still brutal, man. That jump was brutal. I mean, Cristina Brador, I've seen her in the past. You know, she's a tall, long striker. And she started off okay in this fight with the pressure. You know, she was fighting behind the jab, but I think she was a little too comfortable staying in Mack Judo's range. You know, she was a little too comfortable staying in Mackenzie Stiller's takedown range. And she was also underestimating Stiller's striking. And this is what I was saying. Look, grapplers, judokas, you don't have to be the greatest boxers or the greatest with your hands, but you got to have some fundamentals of striking. You got to have some decent strikes, some decent footwork, and some defense. All right, you got to have some defense, and that's what Stiller's been working on. You know, she's light on her feet, uses lateral movement, but she keeps her hands up. You know, as a grappler, she's keeping her hands up, and that's all I'm saying. These wrestlers and grapplers, you got to stop running face first in the strikes, and she will keep a high guard to avoid a lot of impact from these strikes, and that's why I like seeing from these fighters that want to adapt and want to become well-rounded fighters. All right. I mean, right from the jump in the first round, Brador, I like how she was standing her ground. You know, she tried to get the sweep triple on judo and test out her strength on the inside, but real quick, I think she felt that clinch strength from Stiller. So she went right back to the center and tried to keep her range. You know, Brador, she was putting the pressure on. Nice jab early on. It was effective, but I like how Stiller was finding her own range. You know, she was taking her time. She really wasn't like running from Brador, but she was taking steps back, you know, using lateral movement, circling, and still landing her own overhand right, throwing some good leg kicks, high kicks, kind of mixing it up on Brador to make her think, okay, she wants to stand with me, right? So she was just taking her time trying to adjust. But finally, when Brador started to slow down, that's when Mackenzie Stiller jumped in with that overhand right, caught her with that overhand right, clinched up, got the textbook judo takedown, and put her on her back. And from here, Brador was struggling. And Brador was struggling. She couldn't get back up. She went to the cage, tried to get up, but again, a lot of strength from Mackenzie Stiller. So all she could do was turtle up at this point. When she turtled up, Stiller was able to get that neck and she locked it in, man. She started locking that bulldog choke in, cranking. And I'm talking about that neck was turned to the right like she's about to snap her neck. So she had to tap quick. She had to tap quick, man, because her body was straight, but her neck was turned to the side like her head was about to come off. So I was like, oh, man, like Stiller's brutal, man. She brutal. So, hey, good first round finish for Stiller, man. She's growing as a fighter. You know, she's standing her ground. Her nickname may be Judo, but she's still learning to mix it up and adapt in these fights. And I think as long as, you know, she's smarter about her entries, I can see her getting better for sure. You know, definitely, you know, again, like I said, it's important that these girls know how to move on their feet and they're not flat footed, hands down, always just like running in for like naked takedowns. You know, she's actually being a little bit more tricky with it. You know, she will stand, but when she finds that opening, she'll get it. So eventually, you know, I want to see this girl challenge for the LFA title or interim title, whichever she feels like she's ready for. I know Bertoso, what's her name? Bertoso. She just won the LFA strap from Laney Silva. So that could be next in line for Mackenzie Stiller. We'll see. But yeah, definitely check this fight out, y'all. Mackenzie Stiller, big bulldog choke over Cristina Brador. Check this one out. Y'all got to keep an eye out for this girl. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.